Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Today, my dear friends, we are celebrating Wednesday of the 30th week in the Ordinary Time and the feast day of Saints Simon and Jude, two of the 12 apostles of our Lord. The gospel that we have heard on their feast day tells us of the manner by which Jesus called them, how Jesus appointed the 12. We have to understand that prior to the choosing of the 12 apostles, there were hundreds already of men and women who were following our Lord. It is not like as if there were only 15 or 20 of them. Marami na sila, marami nang sumusunod sa Kanya. Marami nang nakakilala sa Kanya at dumadami pa. That's why the Pharisees, the scribes, they were threatened by this Jesus, by this rabbi, for he could easily draw people to himself. And so, having those numbers of disciples, of followers, Jesus went up to the mountain, according to St. Luke, and prayed. And he did not only spend an hour of prayer, he spent the entire night in prayer to God. He was perhaps asking God to help him make the decision, knowing that he will be fulfilling a big mission of redeeming the world through the cross. And so he needed people who will continue the mission. He had to die on the cross and ascend back to the Father. And so these 12 whom he will be choosing will represent the 12 tribes of Israel. These 12 will be the representation of all the nations around the world, the new Israel. And so he chose 12. And what can we learn from this story of the appointment of the 12 apostles? Today we celebrate the feast day of Saints Simon and Jude. But what do we know about these two? Madalas nating naririnig ang pangalan na Peter, Andrew, James, John, Philip, Matthew, Bartholomew, and even Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him. But who is Simon? And who is Jude? The original name of Jude is Judas. Parehas din ni Judas Iscariot. That's why through time, iniba, ginawang Jude to distinguish him from Judas the Iscariot. Pero mas sikat pa rin si Judas. Kaysa sa kanya. What can we learn from these two? Who are these two? Judas, the son of James, or Saint Jude, is never discussed in the Gospels. Other than Mark calls him Judas Thaddeus. But other than that, we do not know anything. Wala na tayong alam tungkol sa kanya. How about Simon? Simon, pwede nating tawaging Simon the Lesser, kasi yung Simon the Greater, si Simon Peter. At tinatawag siyang zealot. Who are zealots? In the time of our Lord, there was this group of Jewish people who were somehow treated as extremists. their faithfulness and loyalty to Israel goes way beyond the faithfulness of other people. And so they hated the Romans, they hated the currency, the Roman currency, they hated the tribute paid to the Roman Empire. But sometimes the loyalty of these people to Israel and to Yahweh goes to the extreme of killing people, maltreating strangers and foreigners. And so imagine, Jesus called and chose a stranger, perhaps almost unknown to people. Among the hundreds, he chose somebody who was not famous. And then he chose Simon, na halos maging rebelde rin siguro, has the tendency to go beyond. And Jesus chose them after praying to God. What does this mean? It means, my friends, that the decision of Jesus to choose the 12 was not only influenced by his personal motive. His decision to choose the 12 was not only influenced by his own needs. His decision also involved the needs of these people. And I would like to imagine what would have happened to Simon the Zealot if he were not chosen by Jesus. What would have happened to Judas Thaddeus kung hindi siya tinawag ng Panginoon? Maaaring nanatili sa katahimikan ng kanyang sariling mundo, malayo sa iba, walang kinakausap. Maaaring si Simon the Zealot ay deads na agad dahil sa kanyang paglaban sa Roman Empire. And so we see here, my friends, God choosing people for particular missions, not for his own selfish reasons, but to pave the way for redemption to come in to their lives. And looking at the church today, God still moves in that way. He still moves in that way. He still appoints people unworthy of the mission, have issues in life. He still appoints people who are in need of a huge transformation, because that is his way of paving the way for redemption to come into our lives. And if you look at people who have been involved in the ministry, and if you would know their past, you would see that there have been improvements in them. Dito pa lang sa atin, no? Kung hindi lang nagka-pandemic, we will see a lot of people here moving around, helping me with the duties, volunteering themselves. And some of them, no, when I arrived here, were not even involved in anything. Meron tayong ibang mga sakristan na dati ay walang imik dyan. Mga estudyanteng palakad-lakad lang dyan. Ngayon ay nagkaroon na ng mas malawak na perspektibo sa buhay. Hindi pa naman napaka-mature, pero lumalawak na ang perspektibo. Umaayos na ang pananaw. Nagiging mas aktibo na sa buhay. When they started serving in the church. And so serving God in the mission is not just about Him. And it's not just about the mission itself. Perhaps God has His own mission to fulfill in those whom He calls. And so today we ask the Lord to continue calling us, that we may give ourselves entirely to the mission He is entrusting to us, and hopefully by fulfilling the mission, improvements will come and we will become better people.